Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, so let me tell you what's going on in Kenya. This is, I mean, okay, let me not sound happy, okay, because people have died. There's rumors that Barack Obama's sister was one of the people arrested. But so I don't want to sound happy because at least they counted when I last looked. There were 4 people they had said had been killed. Amnesty International had said 4 people had been killed, and 31 injured, I believe. This is the numbers that I saw earlier. 31 injured. It might be more. 31 injured and over 50 arrested. This is numbers coming from Amnesty International. So Kenya, in the country of Kenya, legislators in Kenya voted to pass a bill imposing new taxes on a country where people are frustrated over the high cost of living. Prices have gone up. It's become harder and harder for Kenyans to survive day to day. And tensions have been simmering for a long time. When you have bad economic times, the people get there's unrest. And the tensions have been simmering under the veneer of a perfect East African country in Kenya. We hear a lot about Kenya. Oh, Kenya's great, right? But there are a lot of things on the surface. One of the things being a high cost of living, and the cost of living was getting higher. And so the legislators, the lawmakers got together, and they were going to pass a bill to raise taxes, imposing new taxes on the people who are already struggling. And so they voted to pass the bill. They voted to pass the bill. Well, that was all she wrote. They set the part of the Kenya's parliament building on fire. The protesters ran into the parliament building and attacked it. The Kenyan police had to use water cannons to keep the people at bay. There's some pictures coming out of Kenya where the water cannons are shooting out of the middle of the truck, and the people are standing on the side of the truck, riding the truck, trying to stop the truck. And then it's one, it's the photos of people on the ground because they were killed. The police used live ammunition. And so one of the parts of the story that was fascinating to me, beyond the old fascination, that these people stormed their parliament because they raised taxes on them. Think about that. Think about all the things that we get mad about. I'm doing this event tomorrow at a barbershop, and Greg Bluestein tweeted out the press release that came out, and I'm looking at all the comments and, name calling, oh, these coons, they never been in a barbershop before, all these kind of stuff people are saying on Twitter. Just crazy stuff. 4 black men, never been in a black barbershop. Who are you to say something like that? Like, who do you think you are? White people saying things, calling people names. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't call me that to my face. Like, whether you agree with me or not, as a white man, you wouldn't come up into my face and call me anything but Shelley, even if you disagree with my politics. You know what I mean?
Right. It's Twitter.
Right. It's Twitter. Right. So I get it. But my point is that that's what we get mad at. Whether you like Trump or Biden, whether you vote Republican or Democrat, these people actually went to war with their government because their government was raising taxes on them. Think about that. As free and as great as we think we are in this country, these people went to war with their government because they raised the taxes. We're going to war with each other over a red versus blue. Seriously.
And not even that. Like you said, they went to war against the government. We go to war against each other.
Against each other. We go to war against each other while the government snatches all our money. They're tough as it's
making
getting,
all this noise over here and robbing us, picking it out of our back pockets.
Every day. Every single day. Every single day. Do you know what the most egregious tax on poor people is? Traffic violations. Traffic violations.
We could do a whole show on that.
We are probably after this debate. Traffic violations. You get jailed for it. It's a debtor's prison. Traffic violations are nothing but debtor's prison for municipalities. That's it. We'll talk about it. But I'm saying these people went to war with the government over the government raising taxes. And when they protested and said, don't pass this bill, they passed it anyway. And they ran into the parliament building. They set part of the building on fire. And the legislators that voted for the bill had to flee from the crowd, from the protesters in underground tunnels. The ones who voted against it, the crowd let them walk right out the front door. cheering for them. Now, I'm not saying that we need to do things like that in this country. What I am saying is let's start to recognize what's important and what's not. Really, let's start to recognize that. Let's start to recognize that in Fulton County, with African-American Democrats, one of whom is a DA, a district attorney right now in Fulton County, let's recognize that that woman tried teachers under RICO charges. Let's recognize that. And let's say, whoa, wait a minute, that's kind of egregious. Let's recognize that. Let's recognize that there are people in this country who are doing harm to its citizens. And while we fight amongst each other, or the red versus blue, Trump versus Biden, where you're going to watch the debate, oh, you're silly, you're coon, you're a sellout, all of these things we're yelling at each other, the people in charge are robbing us blind on a near daily, hourly basis with fees and taxes and fines, just constantly taking money out of our pocket to feed the system that they're in control of. At a certain point, I've got to say to the Kenyans, God bless you all. God bless you all. I'm not for anarchy, but at a certain point, the people have to rise up and say enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, enough is enough. You take my taxes at the city level. You take my taxes, my money at the federal level. You take it at the state level. You take it at the county level. I go into a store, you're taking more of my money, and you leave nothing for me. And when I get mad and say something, you tell me I'm a kook. I'm crazy. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Or my neighbors say, well, we need taxes for the roads. Fight on, Kenyans. Fight on, my brothers. Fight on, my sisters. Take your government back. Shelley Winter Show. We'll be right back.